4 killings in one weekend. It was a bloody weekend across the country. We begin tonight's newscast with the murder of 29-year-old Kiffer Mckenzie in downtown Belize City. It was broad daylight when gunfire disrupted busy Albert Street, leaving a community shaken. Kiffer Mckenzie was inside his parked vehicle near the Belize Bank with his young children beside him when a gunman opened fire. In a desperate attempt to escape, Mckenzie sped away but crashed moments later, ultimately succumbing to his injuries. His killing has reignited difficult conversations about family legacy, community stigma, and the cycle of violence that has long affected his family. But beyond the headlines, those who knew Mckenzie described a man who was working to build a better life for himself and his children. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
City on Saturday morning as gunfire shattered the calm along busy Albert Street. 29-year-old Kiffer Mckenzie was sitting in his parked vehicle near Belize Bank with his 3- and 6-year-old children when a gunman opened fire. In a desperate attempt to escape, Mckenzie sped off up Albert Street, but his vehicle slammed into a parked car just moments later, bringing the frightening ordeal to a tragic end. Police believe the shooter was on a motorcycle. One suspect has been detained.
Through the use of the technology at the Crime Fusion Center, the investigators were able to trace what we believe to be the motorcycle that was utilized in the incident, as well as the helmet shortly after the incident occurred. These items were processed by scenes of crime technicians who were able to lift fingerprints from both the motorcycle and the helmet, and they have also secured the helmet with a view to conducting further processing for DNA purposes.
Mckenzie's killing has reignited tough conversations about legacy, environment, and the weight of history. A resident of Majestic Alley, he was the son of former gang figure George Jr. Balls Mckenzie, who was killed in 2007. The violence has haunted the family for years. Less than a decade later, in 2016, his brother, George Mckenzie Jr. was also gunned down. Even earlier, in 2015, their mother, Melissa Major, made a public appeal for help after her son received death threats, underscoring a cycle of violence that those close to Mckenzie say he was trying hard to break while rebuilding his life.
Police well know that my son no do nothing and they give no trouble. They cry out to them for help my son. They cry out to them for help my son. Recently last week, I call Brasta. I called Mr. Gwynage. The last person I spoke to with Mr. Gwynage was Tuesday evening before I left, telling him about the death threats my son and they get going to Wesley Junior College, that they were going to kill him at school.
9 years later, Melissa Major is grieving the murder of her last child, Kiffer Mckenzie. A close relative of the family told News 5 off camera that Kiffer was not known to be a troublemaker.
That's just where you come from, the label yards. You get it, and you just because you come out of our hood. You come out of Majestic, so that's how people paint you because you're the our hood. You know, although you know the carry out their bad measures, they don't know a lot of simpleness that people don't.
For Youth Program Coordinator Douglas Hyde, the loss hits close to home. He's known the Mckenzie family for decades, dating back to his early work with George Jr. Balls Mckenzie in the mid-1990s, and in recent years, he worked directly with Kiffer through the William Dawson sports programs, watching him grow and stay actively involved in positive community efforts.
When I got to know him, he was already going through school. Of course, he graduated from high school. He graduated from sixth form. And he wanted a job. And I could remember Kiffer talking to me over the past year saying that I just don't want an ordinary job. I want something where I could be looked up, you know, and my kids they look up to me. And when he was given the opportunity to work at immigration, that was one of his pride and joy.
Mckenzie was employed with the Immigration Department for the past 4 years. The department acknowledged his contributions in a statement And according to Acting Director of the Leadership Intervention Unit, Andrew Dawson, the program was about to bring him on as a coordinator.
Kiffer was one of the persons that we discussed to bring on board as a coordinator, as we know that he transitioned into a better, more productive life. You know, he was employed at the Immigration Department. He was very instrumental as it relates to sporting engagement and peace through sports.
As police continued to search for answers, Kiffer Mckenzie's killing adds yet another painful chapter to a family's story marked by loss, while loved ones hold on to the memory of a man who was trying to rise above it. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.